So.
Every child knew about the Sky Ripper. The transcendent emperor had buried its pieces deep. And then, this emperor's horrific sacrifices had brought it back to the surface. Bernardo wasn't exactly sure how to use the legendary weapon.
Ja, bla bla.
As he set foot on the island, Bernardo couldn't help feeling a bit... Why had he chosen the Sky Ripper? Bernardo never made plans that required constant vigilance. He was a hero. He didn't think too much. He just went with his gut, and the Sky Ripper was a long...
Maul. Ich werde auch keine Kisten jetzt mehr holen, wenn ich alte... Ja, alles auf dem höchsten Level. Durch alte Gebiete laufe. Da sind wir durch.
Two eyes good. One eye dead.
Wo kann ich mich denn hier vor euch verstecken? Hier zum Beispiel.
The people who had built this castle, did they even know what monstrous weapon lay hidden within their walls? The Sky Ripper could destroy anything it touched, or
Und
so
ich
the
werde auch nicht
legend
alles kaputt
said.
schlagen.
As the Transcendent Emperor had fought the Lost Gods, thousands of thousands had died. But Bernardo had been through wars. The only merciful war was a short one.
So, Level up. Was nehmen wir denn jetzt? Gab's da nicht was zum Thema Blocken? Dass ich Schaden mache, wenn ich blocke? Ach ja, hier.
Swell. He'd always wanted to do that.
Natürlich. Hatte ich das blaue Schwert damals hier schon? Ich meine, ich werde hier wieder auftauchen. Davon her. Vielleicht finden wir noch was Neues. Ich erinnere mich zumindest nicht hier gewesen zu sein.
Barely landed a claw on him.
Okay, okay, okay. Die rote Kiste, bla bla. Kein weiterer Weg. Okay, ne, hier haben wir. Weil Schriftrollen fehlen halt immer noch einige. Ah, Block verpasst, du Penner. Das war hier dieses dämliche Rätsel. Da sind wir schon durch gewesen. Brauchen wir nicht nochmal hin.
These things really slice like ham.
Ich lasse euch mal leben. Obwohl das Rätsel kommt hier, ne?
Give me a lever, said Archimedes, and I shall open a gate.
Oh, da unten ist der Sky Ripper.
There it was.
In 7 Minuten durch.
Sky
Also,
Ripper's
das geht.
armature. The stuff that dreams are made of. Engineers' dreams, anyway. The device was intricate. No one alive had this. How was it part of a weapon at all? He'd have to ask a scientist. But first, he'd get the second piece. Sky Ripper had a heart. A core that had come to rest on the next island. Well, there was another island he could reach.
Yep.
Zenobia
Dann
had
versuchen wir
just
den
invaded
Imperator
it
zu
with her
töten.
father's Raven battalions. She must be encamped there still. But fighting Zenobia now, that made no sense at all. He'd already sacrificed one
Kann
friend
das
to
nicht
get this
überspringen, das nervt.
armature, was it? He didn't need to hurry to face her. She would find him. Renato.
Überspringen machen wir und dann
The
töten wir den
truth is,
Imperator.
though, he wanted to see her, wasn't it? Not all. The city was burning, and there was no one to put out the fires. If somehow Zenobia survived her father and inherited his crown, what sort of empire would she be heir to? But he couldn't think about that, could he?
Das war ein neuer Dialog. Tatsache.
Renato felt bad for littering, but these islands were short on trash cans.
Durch die Feuertür wollen wir nicht durch. Die blaue Kiste ist
He couldn't
geschissen.
do worse with Zenobia than he'd done with the core, could he?
Und wir können hier runter.
Hey, I let you tell if someone's far away or just really small.
Waren das alle?
Reynardo wasn't entirely sure how he was going to capture Zenobia. She'd be expecting him. And he didn't have Lapino to cook up a clever plan. Why was it again that he hadn't got the core? Maybe because the results tended to be disastrous. These streets were familiar. The Swordsman School was closed now, but he had been down that street 1,000 times. He knew that pub. He knew that alley. He knew the alley behind it much too well. No wonder Zenobia had chosen to invade this island herself.
Oh, da sind wir relativ schnell
Through
durchgekommen.
Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all. Where were her guards? Finally, he reached her bedroom. That makes no sense. It's a trap, shouted the Emperor. I'll meet you at the outpost, and I'll bring my interrogators. If Reynardo came face to face with the Emperor,
Yup.
maybe he could assassinate him. But maybe it would be smarter and safer to turn Zenobia against her father.
Definitiv. Der Imperator war auf dem Weg zum Nexus. Reynardo konnte versuchen, ein Attentat zu verüben. Er würde mit Zenobia zum Nexus gelangen und dann entkommen.
You're lying, she said. Somehow you're lying. The spell hadn't worn off yet. He had to tell the truth. The trick was in making sure she wouldn't believe it. The core is perfectly safe, he said. And he tried his hardest to sound sincere. In fact, I almost went to get it myself. Fine then, interrogators it is, she said angrily. I gave you a chance. The Emperor's interrogators were not especially gentle, even by Weasel standards. Fortunately, Zenobia had locked him in the guest quarters on her ship, and she'd forgotten it had a toilet that, like all skyship toilets, could be vented into the abyss. This was not the sort of slippery fox he wanted to be. But just as they were about to land, he threw the latch, wrinkled his nose, and leapt through the open latrine.
Ah, herrlich. Durchs Scheißhaus entkommen. Klassiker.
It was a short, safe landing. At least this part of the Nexus hadn't changed too much. Zenobia had been taking him to the Imperial outpost. She'd never expect him to go there by himself. Well, maybe she would. You never knew with her.
Okay, hier war ich noch nie, deswegen muss ich hier leider die Türen öffnen.
To Earth.
Reynardo told the corpses. It was something he'd seen in a play once.
Interessant. Naja, wenn sie auf dem Weg ist, mache ich sie auf. Ach, auch jetzt kriegen wir nur noch aus den Dingern Schrott. Okay, das ist der Hauptweg.
There was an inscription, no spitting.
Ich halte mich natürlich daran. Ups. Mein Gott, hört doch auf. Ich werde sterben. Ja, ich bin gestorben.
Where Renato went next, we cannot follow. Yet.
Alter, ich schmeiß dich durch zwei durch. Seid ihr alle Insta-Kill im Futter? Wunderbar. Hättet ihr das nicht vorher sein können? Gesindel. Okay, hier komme ich nicht rüber. Kommt mir so vor, als würde ich den Weg hier rückwärts laufen.
Renato knew Zenobia, and Zenobia knew him. She'd suspected a trick. Now he'd vanished. She would probably guess that was his plan all along. Perfect. Maybe she wouldn't use the Sky Ripper. At least not without taking it to the scientists at the observatory first. Meanwhile, the Emperor would be coming to the outpost personally. This could be good.
Mir ist der Combo-Counter ausgelaufen. Na egal. Alle tot.
Renato was face to face with the Emperor's bodyguard. They looked very tough, but the Emperor held them back.
Oh, where's my daughter?
And how would I know that? Renato grinned at him.
She lured me here so that you could kill me, didn't she?
Ah, don't be ridiculous, said Renato, trying his best to sound convincing. She loves you.
Oh, I knew it. The rabbit told me I couldn't trust her.
The Emperor hopped out the door. His phalanx of bodyguards retreated carefully. Renato heard someone call, "Arrest her!" as they left. Well, that's a job well done, thought Renato. Now the fleet would be in all sorts of disarray. But maybe he could find her in the mountains. She always used to go to the mountains to hide from the world. Maybe he could even turn her against her father. Or maybe he could reap the benefits of the chaos he had sown.
Also haben wir hier wieder
It
zwei
was time to
Sachen.
report to the Rebel Council, and then launch the attack on a divided and very confused Imperial fleet.
Renato hatte eine verzweifelte Situation in eine fantastische Chance verwandelt. Der Imperator hatte keinem der Geheimnisse, die er aufgedeckt hatte, Glauben geschenkt, und seine größte Generalin Zenobia war auf der Flucht von ihrem Vater verstoßen. Die Rebellen würden schadlos aus der Situation entkommen, aber was war mit Zenobia? Renato wollte sich ihr gegenüber mit seinen Taten brüsten. In der Vergangenheit hatte sie sich oft in die Berge zurückgezogen, wenn sie allein sein wollte. Reynardo war sich sicher, dass er sie dort finden würde. Es war Zeit, zum Rebellenstützpunkt zurückzukehren und einen Angriff auf die imperiale Flotte zu starten, während der Feind noch verwirrt war. Nope. Immer erst Zenobia.
Reynardo felt very clever indeed. He told the Empire nothing but the truth, and now they suspected everything and everyone. So, why are you going to see Zenobia? He asked himself. It's not just a gloat, is it? No, of course not. Now, turning her against her father was good. It was very good. If she would actually join the rebels, that would be spectacular, right? That was definitely what he was doing.
Das glaube ich nicht. Aber wir haben zumindest 2 neue
He wondered if he should have just told her the truth about her father. The Emperor had adopted her from a stray. That was the source of all her loyalty. But even then, he'd been dreaming of a bargain with the lost gods. They alone could make him immortal. The Emperor would have to seal that bargain with the life of someone who truly loved him. And who else truly loved the Emperor? But how could Reynardo tell her that now? Why would she ever believe him?
Das war der falsche Weg. Scheißdreck. Die Dinger mit einem Schlag töten ist halt nicht die cleverste Aktion, die ich hätte bringen können. Aber zum Glück waren sie erst letztes übrig. Geht halt mein Combo-Counter flöten. Und wegen 2 Lebenspunkten kann ich jetzt mal wieder nicht vollständig heilen. Danke, Spiel. Gott, wenn du mich noch an die Wege beim letzten Mal erinnern konnte. Ich weiß nicht, ob ich das unten genommen habe, das Wasser genommen habe, das Ding hier genommen habe. Ich kann immer noch alles nehmen, aber ich glaube, ich habe das da ganz unten genommen. Am Wasser war ich auf jeden Fall. Dann nehme ich das hier.
The funny thing was, she should have trusted him. He told her the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Oh, all right. The truth was, he'd played her like a fiddle. And how often had he ever done that? She was so smart. Smarter than him, really.
Okay, das war der richtige Weg. Aber ich glaube, alle Wege führen mich hierher.
That had gone rather well, actually.
Meine Güte. Heil mich, danke. Okay, da wären wir von der anderen Seite gekommen. Sollte ich nochmal hierher kommen, nehme ich das nächste Mal das andere Teil. Ich darf es nur nicht vergessen. Das ist halt, wenn zwischen der Session und Tag liegt. Da weiß ich nicht mehr, welchen Weg ich da vorgegangen bin. Beim letzten Mal hier durch, ich weiß es gar nicht. Ist alles so verwirrend hier. Oh Gott, du bringst mich ganz nach unten. Was soll die Scheiße? Ich erinnere mich, ich war hier. Ja, das war es mit dem Expeditionsteam.
See? With enough leverage, you could go anywhere.
Digga, ich kann mich da nicht mehr bewegen, das ist auch krass. Vor allem, wenn ihr alle gleichzeitig angreift, kann ich mich nicht bewegen. Ich drück X, um hier wegzukommen, und es hilft halt nicht. Ja, natürlich. Mit 30 Lebenspunkten wird es eine ganz angenehme Reise jetzt für mich. Klasse. Warum bin ich hier? Oh, bitte heilt mich einfach nur gut.
This chest made music when you opened it. Too bad it was Muzak.
Ah, ich hätte einfach den normalen Weg gehen sollen. Klar gab es Erfahrungspunkte, aber brauche ich die wirklich noch? Ich habe die coolen Skills.
Renato had given away the location of the secret base. Fortunately, the Emperor thought it was all a trap. He even mistrusted his own daughter. Renato couldn't have done better if he'd planned it.
Zenobia, meine teuerste.
What have you done to me? Zenobia demanded. My own father thinks I'm a traitor. So? But I'm loyal. So what? You're a bastard, Renato, she said. Now, you love that about me. You really did want the core, didn't you? And the Iblis stone. Yep. He gloated. You get all that? She said to the far speaker toad he'd failed to spot.
I am so relieved,
Ach,
my
scheiße.
daughter.
Said the far speaker. And Zenobia got into her ship and flew off. Damn it. The old far speaker trick. How had he missed it? This was very bad. Zenobia back in her father's good graces, and both of them ready to use the core and the Iblis stone. He got back on the Farfarer. Briefly, Renato thought of fleeing. The odds were surely against him. Never tell me the odds, he told himself. Odds confused him. He preferred to trust his gut. And so he sailed on to attack the fleet. Alone if necessary.
Ja, das wird sicher richtig gut ausgehen. Ah, ja.
There were not many rebels here, and they were disorganized. The Empire had obviously attacked the secret base. The formerly secret base, whose location Renato had so helpfully pinpointed on a map. There was still time to turn around, wasn't there? But Renato hated turning around. Heroes don't turn around, they just own their screw-ups and turn them into impossible victories, right?
Wenn du dir das so einredest, dann wird es so sein. Töte den Imperator. Auf geht's.